We're back with another performance review, and today it's gonna be on the Nike Kyrie 5. Yes sir. Starting with the bottom of the shoe, one word to sum up the traction is inconsistent. It worked extremely well on clean courts, but on dusty courts, it's gonna be a hit or miss. As you guys can see, it's very similar to what we saw in the Kyrie 2. It features the same rounded outsole with the multi-directional pattern. However, I believe that the Kyrie 2 performed a lot better than this year's model is because of the rubber compound. The rubber compound used on the Kyrie 5, it attracted a ton of dust really fast. But as far as coverage goes, the outsole wraps up all around the shoe, so you'll be completely covered on crossovers and cuts. And if you drag your feet, you'll be covered as well. I do think it is worth noting that this specific colorway has a colored / black outsole. And in my experiences, those outsoles, for whatever reason, don't perform as well as non-colored outsoles or maybe even a translucent outsole. So I'm sure other colorways of the Kyrie 5 will have much better traction than this one right here. Overall, man, traction was a hit or miss, but again, I do think you should invest in another colorway with the non-colored outsole, and I feel like it would perform much better. Moving on to the cushioning, Nike is featuring a new cushioning setup called Nike Air Zoom Turbo. Nike Air Zoom Turbo is a 4-foot articulated zoom unit. As expected, I didn't really feel anything at all. Not really responsive. You don't get that pop that you normally feel with zoom units. Again, I always refer back to the KD7 where you could really feel the air unit and it was super responsive. But you're not going to get that in the Kyrie 5. Although the zoom unit was a letdown, luckily the Phylon carrier was soft enough to where it was comfortable to play in. It compressed really well, and impact protection wasn't an issue. But regardless, if you're a quick point guard, cushion is really never a priority. But overall, I do think that this cushioning setup is a great setup for quick players. This year's Kyrie features a full engineered mesh upper. It also features a few fuse overlays on the middle sides of the forefoot for people who toe drag. And to be honest, it really reminds me of what we felt in the Kobe 8 with the engineered mesh backed by glue or fuse. The fuse added to the engineered mesh provides extra stability, extra durability, and even more support. To be honest, even though it's not a knit upper, I really love the materials on this year's model. Moving on to support, really not much to talk about. You just really felt really contained in the shoe. The rounded outsole, it does take some time to get used to, especially if you didn't play in something like the Kyrie 2. But as far as for support for a guard, I had really no issues. As far as fitting go, I would go true to size, but again, for some people it may be too narrow because, again, like Nike said, it's to the exact specifications of Kyrie Irving. So I'm pretty sure he has a narrow foot, pretty sure. Finally, moving on to the lockdown. Lockdown was great, I really had no issues. On the outside, you have a molded heel counter in the back, and on the inside, it's also sculpted to your heel, so once you lace up, you'll be completely locked in. This year's lacing system probably has to be the coolest and most innovative part of the shoe. It features this large overlay panel that's strapped down by flywire and base cables, as you can see. To be honest, there's no really negatives to the lacing system, but I do think that the lockdown and fit would have been completely fine without it. So overall, this is by far my favorite Kyrie, aesthetically and performance-wise. Again, traction, it's really dependent on what type of colorway you get. The cushioning, as long as they put something in the forefoot this year, you know, it could help with impact protection. You know, lockdown, materials, fit, support, all exceptional, all abundant for a guard. And I really had no issues with that. I'm just really looking forward to the type of colorways they're gonna come out with. They could do crazy stuff with the outsole, crazy stuff with the forefoot panel, and a crazy amount of like different prints on the engineered mesh. But yeah, man, that's gonna wrap up the performance review. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And again, I'll be responding to every single comment, so don't be shy. Make sure you check out my other videos. Got a lot of stuff planned for the future, so don't miss out. Not really much else to say, and with that, I'm out.